This is Utah. It's a great place, but if you live here, you know that everything has been kind of changing and it's kind of for the worse. So today's video, I'm going to get into that, show you my experiences with this place, and yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So let's get into it. Now, this is an area that's 10 minutes away from my house, and it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at this. The mountains, you know, it has the world's largest mine, like right there. They have so many different places all around where you can go. It's a beautiful state. And it also changes. If I go 30 miles one direction, it's completely different environment than 30 miles or 30 minutes the other way. It's a great state. There's so much to do. But when it comes to the people, that's where it's kind of going downhill. Now, if you've watched my channel for a while, you've known I've been in Arizona for a couple of years for college. So I've kind of got to see a different side of things, which it's a whole entire different world down there. I mean, it's not the same. People act different, you know, environment's different. So I kind of am able to see the differences, what's good about each place, what's bad about each place. And yeah, there's just so much to talk about. It's insane. Let's start out with my interactions, because I know a lot of you guys on the Street Speed video, you guys were very interested in that comment I made. So let's start with my interactions with people here. For some reason, the majority of them happen in this truck. I don't know if it's people don't like it. It's very flashy, I get it. And I see all those videos online, you know, of Lamborghinis and everyone, and they just throw stuff at it or get super pissed at it just because they have a Lamborghini, right? And I'm not saying this is a Lamborghini. I mean, look at the zip ties and the taillight. Like, come on. It's rough around the edges. But the first week of owning this truck, I was driving on the highway. This guy in a lifted F-350 pulls up, and we're going like, you know, 65 miles an hour or so. And he just gives me the dirtiest look. And I have no idea why. I just bought the truck. I'm all happy, you know. He just gives me the dirtiest look. And then he decided to kind of do a pull next to me. And, you know, I'm not going to take that. So I obviously did a pull with him. This truck actually beat it. And I was just laughing my butt off. He was so pissed that he decided to roll down his window and huck a giant loogie onto my truck. He just spit on it. And I'm like, dude, are you serious? I'm like, I was just driving. I didn't instigate it or anything. So that was first week into owning this truck. And it's, I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, that was weird. But then we get into the other stories. Now, the next interaction, you guys may know because I had a video made for it. So I'm going to put that video down in the description. But this next interaction, it was surreal. These headlights, they're stock. These are stock headlights. It's probably one of the last things stock in this, but like, they're original. You know, they're nothing crazy. This is 2010, and the Rangers haven't been updated, you know, for how many years, because it was a good truck. So those are stock headlights. And I pull up to a light, and there's this guy in the lane over. He's not even directly in front of me. The lane over immediately hops out of his truck, starts yelling at me, saying my headlights are too bright. And I just pulled up to the light. It was like 2 seconds. He just hops out, starts swearing at me, cursing at me, getting mad at my headlights, saying they're too bright. They were on low beam. They're not high beam. They're stock headlights. He was just freaking out. And the light turns green, thankfully. So what I decided to do was go, because I'm like, dude, this guy's kind of crazy. He hops back in his truck. He has a V8. I don't. His truck is faster. Okay, let's put that out of the way. He catches in front of me, and this is on a highway. This is on a 65 mile per hour speed limit road. He decides to cut in front of me, stop in the middle of the highway, and big brain move, I turned on these headlights, which they're insanely bright. And the reason I did that is because I knew he would run at me again. That way, when he was getting really close to my vehicle, that's when I take off. That way I could pass him. So he did that. He was pretty far away from his truck, so I just took off. I did that, called the authorities once I got in a safe position, and yeah, he wasn't able to catch me. I mean, I'm kind of a driver, you know. And then that brings me to my next interaction, where I wasn't even driving this. I was just in the parking lot. This thing doesn't have AC, so I keep the windows down all the time, okay? I have to keep the windows down because it's, you know, 100 degrees in the summer here. It gets pretty hot. So I just pulled up to the bank. I had a good song playing, so I decided to wait till the end of the song to walk into the bank. It wasn't turned up all the way. It wasn't that bad. And this guy at the bank decides to wait for me inside the bank in front of everyone, just standing in the middle, you know, just classic pissed off face. And he waited for me, and I walk in. He's like, "Hey, you know your truck's illegal." And I'm sitting here like, "What?" I'm like, "No, not one of these again." Yeah, I used to be a DOT inspector, and yeah, your tires, you know, your tires poking out. There's Jeeps come from factory, right? That the tires poke out more. And the law states that if there's an attempt to stop it, then you're good. Which these oversized fenders should be enough, you know. But he's like, no, that's illegal. I'm like, oh, sorry, I didn't know that. Then he decided to get mad at my music. He's like, you know, if a cop can hear your music from 25 feet away, that's a $400 fine. And I'm like, dude, there's people killing people out there. There's way worse stuff going on. No one cares about my music. I can't believe you're stopping and causing a scene in the middle of a bank just because my music, you could hear it. Which, I mean, it wasn't even that loud. He was probably, let's see, I don't know, this far away from it, which 10 feet, you know, 10 feet away, windows down, you're going to hear someone's music. Like, they play music in stores, they play music everywhere. Or that's illegal. You know, what the heck is going on with people nowadays? I don't understand it. Now, the last one, like, this has never happened to me. It only happened to this truck. It was pretty recently. Once again, windows down. I was just at a light. I wasn't playing music or anything. I was just chilling there. This guy was pulling up behind me. He stopped behind me at the stoplight. Then he decided to get in the lane over. He's in a, I don't know, LBZ Duramax or something. And he pulls up next, and I'm like, okay, maybe he just wanted to see the rest of the truck, or he's impatient, just like everyone else is. Then the light turns green. I hear that turbo spooling up, and I knew exactly what was going to happen. He was brake boosting. So he decided to do that. That thing was definitely deleted. He just filled my cab with smoke, which I couldn't roll up the window fast enough, but just filled up my cab with smoke, which, you know, I've seen videos of this and I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny, you know, whatever. It's probably not that bad. When that smoke hit me, it filled my eyes with soot. It hurt a ton. I couldn't even see the license plate. I couldn't see where I was driving. I was actually livid because I didn't think it would be that bad, but I guess it was. So he decided to do that, and I couldn't catch up to him. I didn't know where he went. I couldn't see, you know. I didn't want to drive, like, you know, into a house on accident or something. Like, it was just surreal. And so apparently that if I called that in, it would have been assault charge immediately. That's the law in Utah. And I wasn't doing anything. I was stopped at a light for a good minute. I didn't cut no one off. This thing's slow as heck. I'm not speeding, cutting through cars, you know. It's a Ranger with 35s. I mean, what do you expect? And so now for my theory of why Utah is kind of going down this direction, which it has been in and out of #1 most moved into state, mostly because of, you know, it has a great economy. It's beautiful. We didn't have a housing problem until now. It was a really good, on paper, state to move into. People are nice, that's why everyone from California, Arizona, there's a lot of people moving from everywhere into the state. And I'm in the #1 fastest growing city currently. So when this happens, I mean, people here used to think it's small town, they're not used to seeing so many people. Traffic is insane right now, and people are just losing their minds, doing rash decisions. And the difference between Arizona and Utah is that crime in Arizona, it's, homelessness, can't find a job. There's a lot of people down there, they're trying to make a living. And crime here, it's pure emotion. There's so many opportunities here, it's just pure emotion whenever it's crime, all these shootings and the traffic stops and road rage. It is pure emotion, so they don't know how to control themselves. And I know all around the world everyone's kind of, going crazy just because of the political state of the world right now. All this controversy, different sided. People are very, very how would I put it? No one else's opinions are correct. It's only their opinion that's right, which Utah has already had a problem with that. And this might get a lot of people mad, but it's just what I've seen. I've lived it. I've been part of it. But Utah is very big in the LDS community, and when I say that, it's Mormon community. A lot of the time people take it too far, and they're not used to seeing other types of opinions or other views or anything like that, just because it was so dense here in Utah to see LDS people. They're not used to anything else. So whenever they see someone with a different opinion or a different view or something like that, they can't believe it because they've never seen it before. So they end up, their emotions start getting kind of crazy, and it just causes issues. Now, California is known for very, very political people that their opinion's the only right way. So if you could imagine when a bunch of people like that move into a bunch of people like this, it kind of clashes together, which I've seen it on social media with, people I knew from high school, people everywhere that I've been following. I could just see that change, especially from living out of it for a couple years. I could just see night and day, and it just feels weird because it's not the same state that I left. That's my theory of why everyone's kind of getting crazy here. There's a lot more that goes into it. I don't know how much I'm gonna keep dragging on about this. A little bit controversial. I don't care. This is what I've seen. This is what I think is happening. If you're from Utah, you might understand just because you've seen a change as well. But I mean, what do you do about it? Now, I know I haven't brought in truck content or Mustang content in a bit. I'm kind of dealing with some things right now. My bank account got hacked, stole all my money out of it. So they're in a dispute process right now. That probably has nothing to do with Utah. That's just me living on this planet. So hopefully truck content is coming soon. I really want to take it out and actually, beat the crap out of it like you guys like to watch. So hit that subscribe button down below. Let's push for 1,000 subs. Been doing this 3 years. Let's hit that goal. That way I can bring better content instead of just an idiot, crying on the camera right now. So yeah, if you liked this video, leave a like, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more content.